So our very last question, it asks us to use a different function, g of x, to represent another baseball that was thrown, and then what's the maximum and all that good stuff. So we're going to go back to our calculator. We're going to add in this new function, g of x. So I'm going to get my trackpad to come up. I'm going to come over here to my graphing tab, and I need to hit menu. Go to graph entry edits, and then put in option 1. That's a new function. The new function they give to you, g of x, which is negative 1/2 x squared plus 5 over 2x plus 3. And then graph that. Okay. So now we've got our other function here. There we go. And now I can see it a little bit better. Okay. So they asked me, what is the maximum height of this ball? So I'm going to go to maximum, menu, analyze graph, and then go to maximum. That's option 3. They asked me to choose my graph. I can see that they're asking me to choose my graph because down in the left-hand corner it says graph question mark. So you need to select the second graph. Now it knows where you want it to look, and you're going to click to the left and to the right of where you think the maximum should be. And there it is at 2.5, 6.125. So we're going to write that coordinate point down at 2.5, 6.125. That's the maximum height that the ball reaches. Then they ask us how much farther did the ball travel? We know that the first ball from part D up here, we know that the first ball traveled 10.657. So we just need to find out when the other ball landed and then what the difference between the two is. So here is the 10.657 coordinate point. We just need to find that one. So we're going to go to menu, analyze graph, and then go to the 0. We're trying to find this 0. It's going to ask me again, what graph am I talking about? I want the new one. I'm going to click to the left and the right, and there we go. It comes up at 6, 0. So we know that the first ball traveled farther. And how much further? Well, because our first ball, again, this is part D up here, our first ball traveled 10.657. We know that our second ball, we just figured out, our second ball travels 6 feet out. So it's going to be 10.657 minus 6. And that means our total distance here is 4.657. Good. So 4.657 feet. And make sure that you've got your units on there. 4.657 feet. Alright. When will the baseballs be the exact same height? So the only place that these two graphs seem to intersect is right here. And so we're going to have the calculator determine that for us. We're going to go to menu and then analyze graph. And then I want you to go to option 4, intersection. It's going to ask you to graph the lower bounds like you did. Click to the left and then click to the right. Again, when you do that, your coordinate point will come up of that intersection, and that's what you're going to write down. So 4.573 and then 3.977. That's going to be the coordinate point when they're both going to be at the same height. That's the only time that both of these graphs will connect with one another. Okay? And then the very last one is it wants us to solve g of x for 5.5. So where does y equal 5.5? Again, two ways that you can do this. You can go into the original equation and just subtract 5.5 because here it's positive, right? So we're going to make this a little bit more clear, what I'm going to do is actually just delete this graph completely off, and so now we just have that one graph. I can take off these other points that are in my way, and now I just have a clean graph. What I'm looking for is where y equals 5.5. So it looks like it's going to happen in two places, here and here. I can go right now and find the intersection, or what I can do is exactly what I did over here in part F. I can just take this amount off of the equation. To be able to do that, you're going to go in to edit the equation. So click on the parabola, and your equation will come up. So again, if it asks you for a positive 5.5, you can put in a negative 5.5, and then it will recalculate that 0 for you. Okay, so let's recalculate that 0. Okay, so go to menu, analyze your graph, find the 0, and we're going to have a 0 at 1.382, and we will also 1.382. We'll also have a 0, menu, analyze graph, 0. At 3.618. So 3.618, comma 0. Okay, so essentially what we're saying is at 1.382 feet and 3.618 feet, the baseball is, and then they tell us this happened at 5.5. So the baseball is 5.5 feet